Welcome to the third episode of the Ramen Week. My name's Redacted, and here with me I have some Annie Chuns Thai Peanut flavor ramen. Now, if you're a fan of the show, you've probably heard me mention Annie Chuns once or twice throughout some of the episodes as a reference point, but this is the first time we've actually had any on the show. This outer thing here is a cart. You can see the actual noodle bowl is a weird square shape on the inside, and you'll notice down there is a spiciness meter, and as you can see, it's at the very bottom, so there's not going to be anything spicy today. That noodle shape there isn't actually what the bowl shape is, so the noodles on the inside, I doubt they're going to be very similar to what the box is, but we can never know until we cook them. So let's head over into the kitchen. So before we look at the instructions on the side of the carton, it's usually common for us to go ahead and take a look on what's inside first. And on the inside here we have the noodles in a package. We have what is the sauce. We have garnish, which again is just sesame seeds, and we have the toppings or vegetables. So the first instruction here says to set the sauce and the peanut packets aside, so we can go ahead and set those aside right now. So our first step here is to empty the dry toppings into the bowl. You can probably guess that the next step is to cut open these noodles and put them on top. Give me 1 second. Before we put it in the microwave, we need to cover it loosely with the lid, so not sealing it all the way on, just tossing it on top. And now we need to heat this for 90 seconds. Our final step here before the standard stir and enjoy is the sauce and the peanuts. It just says add the sauce and the peanuts in no particular order, so I'll go ahead and pour on the sauce first. Alright, and now the garnishing or peanuts. And now it's time to stir. That's about the best I'm going to be able to do, so let's head back to the table. We're here with this relatively small bowl of noodles, and it doesn't look very sauced. I noticed the last noodles look very, very saucy, but these guys just kind of look pretty plain. I don't know if the sauce is clear or if the sauce just didn't really mix well, but there's only one way to find out. It's alright. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. The sauce isn't really super strong, but I don't think it needs to be with this flavor. The peanuts aren't really like in the noodles. They kind of stuck to the sides of the bowl. And they seem a little watery, but other than that, this tastes fine. I'll come back when I'm done with this. So we're about wrapped up here with this ramen, and of course, as usual, the bottom of the bowl is different than the top of the bowl. And I didn't bother doing a middle segment here because there basically is no middle of the bowl. This bowl is too small to have 3 segments. So at the very bottom of the bowl, I noticed all the sauce was actually at the bottom mixed with the water. So instead of having a nice Thai peanut flavor spread throughout, I kind of got a half watered down Thai peanut all at the bottom, which was pretty disappointing, but that doesn't mean that it was a bad flavor. It was just less of what I expected, and these noodles certainly weren't bad. They didn't taste watered down. But now that I know that they were at the bottom where all the water was, I know that it was watered down. So though it didn't taste watered down, it definitely was watered down, which means it had a lot more potential for flavor that I didn't get to taste. Here we are at the final verdict, and if you remember earlier, before the milk drinking segment, I mentioned that the sauce was watered down, but I couldn't taste as such, so there was some missing flavor opportunities that I wasn't able to have. However, for about $3.50, I think this was a pretty small amount of noodles. I've seen noodles that are much bigger and much better in quality for a lot less. So these noodles certainly didn't taste bad, but because of how small they were and because of the price that you can find them at most supermarkets, I'm going to give these guys a 5.5 out of 10. Not a bad flavor, but because of the watered downness that I mentioned, and because of the pricing, we're going to have to bring the score down. The actual flavor of the noodles itself is probably closer to a 6.5, but we're going to give it a 5.5 because of the high price. We're back at the usual filming spot, as you can see, which means we won't have to end the episode with just a solemn wave. So let's go ahead and say hi to the cats and end this episode.